Nathan Holiday here, and welcome to the final installment of our Cope series. This has been a long process, but we're finally at the end. And we started this series at episode 48 and have progressed through ideas around how to capture random inputs, organize them into the right place or slot, and then plan your day and week. If you want to start from the beginning, head to episode 48 and start there. Today, we're finishing up the last step in Cope, which is to engage or do the work. We've all heard that old Lincoln quote, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." Well, up to this point in our series, you've been sharpening the axe, capturing, organizing, planning. But getting ready to do the work doesn't actually get anything done. You can't think a tree to the ground. The sharpest axe, the perfect plan, are tools. And tools are useful because of the skill and experience and strength that we bring to the job. Work is done by the worker, not the tool, at least not yet. I'm sure AI will change that in time. But chopping is how we take what we've planned for our week and our days and then act. It turns the imaginary into the real. This is where the rubber meets the road. Engaging has 2 challenges: starting the work and doing the work. The goal is to make it easy to, number 1, engage, and number 2, stay engaged. Basically, you commence into the action and then immerse yourself or get lost in the activity. Starting is all about overcoming friction. The best way to do this is by focusing your mind on the idea of persistent starting instead of having to finish something. You can check out the book The Now Habit by Neil Fiore to get a deeper dive on this. But the point is, if you're going to get started, don't obsess about completing the entire project in just one sitting. Break things into smaller pieces and persistently build the habit of starting. Just sit down and start and don't make it a big deal. Keep everything in perspective. A kitchen timer is a great tool for this. It's like doing a workout against the clock. You can delay all day, chat with friends, but once that timer starts, you get to work. Don't think about the work. Think about starting the timer and then look at the work. This helps alleviate the stress, especially when you know there's a defined endpoint for the session. How do you start something you've been avoiding? Simple. Set a 5-minute timer and engage with it. Do not go longer than 5 minutes. If you get into a flow, take a short break after the 5 minutes, then set a longer timer, and this is going to take some discipline. If you can barely last the 5 minutes, take a longer break and set the timer for just another 5 minutes. Not long into this habit or setting this timer, you may choose to graduate to the Pomodoro technique, which is a systematic way to approach your work and improve its quality over time. I recommend the book The Pomodoro Technique, illustrated by Stefan Noteberg. If you get that book, just ignore the drawings and focus on the content. If you search Pomodoro Technique online, you'll also be able to find a PDF document that explains the entire system, and I definitely recommend that you check that out. But in a nutshell, 1 Pomodoro is a 25-minute unit of time measurement. You complete one 25-minute Pomodoro and then you take a 5-minute break and then start another 25-minute Pomodoro timer. Then repeat until you've completed 4 rounds of this, which is about 2 hours. Then take a long break from 15 to 30 minutes. So that equals 1 standard Pomodoro set. A 2 Pomodoro set would be 8 Pomodoros total for about 4 hours of focused work. Of course, this is all super nerdy and can feel restrictive and doesn't actually fit into many busy people's lives. So you have to play with it and gain experience and learn how to go with the flow. Maybe you can only get 1 or 2 in. That's okay. I recommend sticking to the 25 on, 5-minute off setup at first before changing any of that. This means accumulating a minimum of 100 Pomodoros over time of the 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of rest. Once you've done 100, you'll have the experience to make tweaks based on what you've learned and what you need to change in your life. Now, the Pomodoro technique is the best, simplest system that I found to get more high quality work done consistently. If you master it, you might be able to get in 8 or 10 or 12 plus Pomodoros in a single day without burning out. One of the magical things about doing work like this is you build real rhythm and balance into your day that prevents burnout. You can get a lot done. This might seem impossible, this 8, 10, or 12, but keep your mind open. And if you've never done these before, start with a goal of 2 to 4 per day. But remember, you don't have to be a robot. Not everything needs to be timed all the time. And this is a strategy that really helps overcome the challenges of starting your work. Now, in the next step of engaging after starting is doing. And doing is all about staying focused, avoiding distractions, both internal distractions and external distractions. Internal distractions just pop up inside your head. They're ideas or wants or to-dos. You already know what to do with these sorts of things. Immediately capture these items and then continue on with your work. Anything can wait, pretty much. I mean, unless it's a dire emergency, pretty much everything can wait until you finish your little work block, right? You build up your focus muscle by staying single-minded on the task at hand, and that's something that the Pomodoro technique is really good for, building this muscle of focus. External distractions can be really hard to control. Interruptions, noises outside, phone calls, various alerts. Control what you can, right? Put a sign on the door that you're in a work session, maybe silence your phone, wear earplugs or headphones. External distractions can't be fully eliminated 100% of the time. I get that. You might have kids running around or other important and urgent things popping up. But simply setting your intention and taking steps makes a world of difference. If you find yourself on social media, on your computer when you should be working, check out the app Self-Control. It's a free app and it's the most powerful I've found. Very simple. If you can master the two challenges of engaging with your work, starting and doing, you become a master of your fate. This is the how of enhancing the quality of your life. Anything that you want, any goal or desire requires some form of starting and doing. And the entire COPE system is about spending your precious time, a truly limited resource, on the most important things to move you to where you want to go in life with ease and low stress. Success hinges on getting the right things done, and that's why I've spent this time showing you how to cope with the continuous and never-ending stream of things flowing into your life. It's never going to end, so we need a way of handling it, and that's the COPE system. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. If you have any questions, you can always email me at nathan@levelmethod.com, and I'd be happy to help. Until next time, thanks for listening.